Hello, everybody. This is Highly Black and Flavored, The Returned, episode 6. My name is Kenneth Davis,
And I'm Jaquise Crockett.
and we're here to do
JT.
great things. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We got our guests here.
Yeah, just fit in when you get in.
So, everybody, I have a friend of mine, also an Army buddy as well, and he's here to hang out with us and talk about great things today. Mr. Julian Tahimik, how you doing today?
Good, brother. How are you?
Oh, I'm holding up well. December, I've been getting through a little bit of a funk. I don't know what it's
the 30-day cough is what they call it.
Yeah. I just don't know. I don't know why. I've been sitting here drinking more eggnog, singing "What Do the Lonely Do" on Christmas, all of that good stuff. But man, I did that. I did the spur ride with the calf, and I haven't been right since. I've been all over the place. I have not been right. I don't know what's going on, but man, I'm holding up in high spirits, and I've kind of pulled myself out of that rut a little bit. But you know, I'm holding on the best that I can. Jaquise, how have things been going for yourself?
Pretty good, actually. I'm on leave right now. I've got about a day and a half to get my mind right before I have that long flight back to Hawaii. But while I was here, I spent time with loved ones, and I even just created some more artwork for the next beat tape that'll be dropping January 10th. Marking calendar.
Shameless plug. Let's go. Let's do it. Let's do it.
So we've been making moves out here, regardless of where I'm at, and I've been enjoying my time.
That's always good. It's good. I see you got back to the continental United States. You set your feet back on the. I'm not calling this the motherland. Absolutely, I'm not calling this the motherland. It's not the motherland. You just came back to the States to see family. It's always good. When was the last time you came back over here?
Ooh, a little bit. Maybe 2021, I believe.
Wow, it's been that long.
Yeah. I think it was right before I went. Got stationed in Hawaii, I believe. So yeah, 2021 was the last time.
It's taken quite a while. Quite a while to get back, but it's okay. It's okay. We all find our way back and make the most of this time. Now, pulling into our first topic of the day, this is something that affects all three of us, kind of, ish. So Congress tells the Army to set higher fitness standards for combat armed soldiers. This is also an update and an addendum to the last update that came out of Congress, saying that they were possibly considering going back to the APFT. Now, Julian, give me a little bit of the insight of what you've heard about these rapid changes, and what have you seen as a leader? What have you seen that's kind of really pulled your interest about these changes?
I like the ACFT. I like it a lot.
I do.
I think it is one of the most functional ways that we can test strength and fitness. It's force people to get in the gym. Force people to put on a little weight, right? Put on a little muscle mass, so they can carry their battle buddy or carry that 90-pound sled, right? So it forced a lot of people out of their comfort zone. But every year since the ACFT came out, they have been asking for the APFT. Like, this is not the first year they asked, they put it in the bill that APFT is going to come back. It got denied twice. I'm hoping it gets denied a third time.
I hope.
But I mean, they already, it's a kind of a sunk loss fallacy, right? Like they put too much in already to not kind of commit to this.
Think about how many changes have come across the board already. I mean, just in what, 5-ish years, 4 or 5 years, when the ACFT was announced and when they started implementing it, I was going through Bullock at the time when it was like the original one, and they had the leg tucks and everything. Mm-hmm. And I was like,
I missed the leg tuck.
Why they took away my leg tuck? They took away my leg tuck. Now I have to sit for 3.5 minutes in a plank, which is not impossible. But after you just got done doing everything that you're doing, that's the last thing you want to do.
I was
it's
like,
way
I'm
harder
shaking.
than you think.
Why am I shaking?
Right. I'm 2 minutes and 45 seconds, and I'm like, please, Lord, take me off this earth. Please,
And it doesn't help. They
please.
count down too. 30 seconds have elapsed. A minute has
Who are you,
elapsed. I'm gonna need you to be
who are
quiet over
you
there. It's
talking
a mental
to?
game. Look,
How
I
many
tell my grader,
seconds?
look, tell me when 4 minutes is up. Don't even breathe another time before 4 minutes, please.
Yeah, don't even tell me. But Jaquise, with yourself as a fitness guru yourself, how have you adapted to the ACFT and all of the different versions and changes that have come across with this PT test?
So when the APFT was around, that's your standard 2 minutes push-ups, sit-ups, and then your 2 mile run. I didn't think it was an accurate way of gauging people's fitness because there's ways to kind of get around it. Say you have a person who's holding you down for your sit-ups and they're much heavier than you. You can use that as leverage to crank out at least 20 more reps. I know I've done it to hit past 110 sit-ups, but it doesn't really do anything. That's just for show. And then just the push. It was a lot of bad form that was going on with the APFT, and it got under my skin. It honestly did. Now moving over to the ACFT, you have things that you have to pay attention to a lot more when it comes to lifting, throwing, undulating. You have to move your body in various patterns that people are not used to. So you have to know how to deadlift at a minimum, and then okay, you're not used to the standard deadlift bar. You got to transition your skills to the hex bar, which is a lot different,
It's
varying
different.
varying
Mm-hmm.
grips and everything. You've got your power toss, all of that stuff, the sprint dragon carry, everything, the hammer release push-ups, which I I personally enjoy too, because you have to place yourself back in a really good starting position. If you place yourself outside of that, you're gonna start messing yourself up. But I think that ACFT has a lot more integrity behind it too, especially if you have someone who's really into fitness that they'll truly watch you. And that's what I've been noticing between leaders and people taking the test. They're a lot quicker to point out a flaw and help you get through it instead of an ACFT or the APFT where they kind of look off and just keep going. Oh, you're done? Nah, all right, I'll give you a few more. You're good. Get up and go.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we're past that. I will say I am heartbroken about the leg tuck being taken out because I
You're
enjoy pull-ups in any
Mr.
variation.
Calisthenics.
I enjoy
Mr.
pull-ups in any
Calisthenics.
variation, so I will get up there and have conversations on the bar. Like, I enjoy it, but I think a lot more people had fun on the leg tuck versus going into the plank. Like, and then the only gripe I have about the plank is, of course, it's the low plank. It's really good for your body too, but a lot of people cheated by using improper form on it. And
Ooh,
I usually like, hey, you can get 3-4 minutes doing it
hands be together.
incorrectly, but you're gonna pay for that. You're not really strengthening anything, and down the road, you've cheated yourself. So it kind of ties into, all right, you're gonna go down range and you're gonna take shortcuts to get something done, or you're gonna do it correctly the first time, no matter how long it takes, in order to get the mission accomplished. And that's kind of how I correlate that. But I enjoy the ACFT. I enjoy it a lot. They just need to keep pushing for it. I will say, can we have an even playing field when we take it? I don't know where you guys take your ACFT at, in like a gym or on like a field that's tilted like 80 degrees somewhere. We just need even ground, please.
That's in the regulation. There's a certain grade that you can't be passed.
They do not follow that we're at, and I will tell you that sucks.
See, different standards everywhere, and that's I would say that is the biggest takeaway from the APFT, and one of the biggest advantages to it is you could take it anywhere, anytime, and there's not going to be that many variables that jump in between. All you need is a flat surface, a track, or a predetermined route, and you get your push-ups, your sit-ups knocked out, and you do your run. Now, I do very much agree with you that it was not a great way to gauge necessarily your fitness. Now, you will see trends in fitness looking at those people. So like somebody who's very much in shape, it's like, oh, okay, so for a good 4 or 5 years, you want to know my PT score was 299, 299, 299, 299, 299, 300, 299, 277. That was it. that was it. Now, for me personally, I do very much agree that it's the best way to gauge, and it actually forces you. It's the best way to gauge strength, and it forces your soldiers and it forces everyone within your company or within your unit to actually work on their fitness in their spare time, because when you get there, you can't fake some of the stuff that you're doing. So it's like, if you're not deadlifting, okay, you might get the minimum, but hey, your sprint drag carry might be kind of trash. So it's like, hey, and you also have to pace yourself. You can use your strengths to your advantage and max out, but there's a lot more that goes into this PT test that requires you to actually practice. For example, in this real life, still, getting a little bit older, but I'm not no old man. Getting a little bit older. I'm not 18, but I still got it. But I got to stretch first. So I still do fairly well on my my ACFT. But that ball throw, hey, I do pretty well most times. But hey, my last one, I was kind of cutting it close, because you don't get all of those throws anymore. I believe you only get a warm up throw, and you get 2 throws. They recently cut down on that. Don't quote me on that.
Okay.
But I think it's just 2 throws now. That's it.
Yeah.
So, hey, it's whatever you got. But I've seen people who were very much in shape fail the entirety of that PT test, because obviously once you fail one event, you fail the entire test. I've seen people fail because of that ball throw and then run like a 13:30, 13 minutes, 2 mile. I'm just like, hey, I know you tried. But the most recent addition, also, Jaquise, I'm not gonna skip past the fact that you said you was using the bigger people to hold your feet instead of your feet during the APFT. That's a great idea. You thought I was about to shame you there for a second. No, that's a phenomenal idea. I always love when the big people got on my legs
all
and
the time. Did it all the time at the unit.
Come on, right. What you weigh? 230? All right, you'll be my holder. Okay.
Oh, come on, bet. Let's get this done. But for Congress, the new, as of I believe it's sometime around early December, we kind of got whispers that they were trying to work through a situation with the Department of Defense to push through with that bill again. Push through with a bill to where they were going to have higher standards. And I believe it was called the National Defense Authorization Act, which pushes through the funding and the policy priorities for the Pentagon and directs the service to increase the baseline standards in the Army combat fitness tests for ground troops, which would include your infantry, cavalry scouts, and your special forces. That was the biggest priority of the bill that's being presented right now. So obviously it was a heavier emphasis on your combat arms folks. Now, originally, before the ACFT changed the way that it was graded and they changed the criteria, they had already had this worked out. They had, I believe it was heavy or black were certain MOSs in the criteria. Right. So that is
no gender.
No gender, everybody could pass it. But then they did some surveys, they did some research, and people were getting broken off. And they weren't,
because they couldn't do a leg tuck. Most MOSs at a baseline was 1 leg tuck. I looked at that and I was like, oh, I'm good. I'm just gonna do whatever. But
I think black was 3, right? It was like max. Minimum was 3 for black. Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
Right, and that was for, I think, heavier MOSs. It was like most of the combat arms. I think ordnance fell into one of them. It was like all over the place as far as like
was black. Transportation was black also.
Yeah.
But what was the other one? Quartermaster was medium.
Right. That kind of like, hey, yo. It kind of makes sense when you think about it, I guess. Their jobs and their responsibilities for some stuff is just completely different. But I remember that because a lot of the ACFT is actually, they take bits and pieces from the OPAT. Julian, you remember the OPAT?
Oh yeah, dude. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was the silliest thing ever. But I do
jump,
remember,
right? Jump as far as you can. I was like, bro, I can't do this.
you had to do the deadlift with the hex bar and all of that stuff. So like bits and pieces. The Army doesn't, when it comes to fitness, that holistic fitness, I forgot what it was. It's like the Army holistic fitness. But basically that whole thing gives you every workout, every piece of information on Army fitness. You got something there, and you can, anytime you need to instruct a PT test, anytime you need to do it, all of that information is there for the viewers.
Don't they got 2 tests in the Marine Corps? They got like the version of the ACFT, and there's like a combat fitness test. What, you guys remember? What do you know about that?
I'm not entirely sure, but knowing how crazy they get down when it comes to fitness, I don't disbelieve it at all.
So that's what I heard. That's what I heard is going to happen to us. They're going to do like a combat version of the test, like a in theater type, right? Like you don't have the equipment type deal, and then and then garrison, we're doing ACFT for record. That could like work. I feel like that would be like a smart compromise. So you're not wasting of these 500,000 beaver fitness systems.
Oh,
that's how much them suckers cost.
You already,
it's not a waste. I'll use it
let me tell you, you already got pull-up bars, and Julian, you can attest to this at armories and at different places, like specifically, and I know National Guard and Reserve, who we had been waiting on that equipment. We had been waiting on that stuff forever, and then when we finally got it and they made it necessary for us to take the test, those pull-up bars were just sitting there. So it was. And there's a conspiracy theory.
Now if you jump on it, you get tetanus.
Oh God, yeah, because they're rusty.
They don't have the rights on it no more.
They don't. The grip,
take care
grip's
of it.
Gone.
Like,
the grip
I didn't need it no more.
Yeah, they let them shits sit outside, and they didn't do anything with them. But there was a I think I was watching an Angry Cops video, and he was like, I have a theory that the Sergeant Major of the Army help push this and get this approved, simply so whether it's stuck around or not, get it there so all of the units could have equipment to work out with and have, during training periods, which is not an unbelievable theory.
Well, dude, I don't know, man. That's serious.
That's why.
That's a stretch, dog.
That's a stretch.
He kind of do got that face, though, you know.
Yeah. It's a stretch, but it's just like I don't foresee that. That's a funny. That's a very.
True. If there's any inkling of truth to that, I'll
it's a very wide casting theory, you know.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. But me and my own personal experience as a junior officer starting and pushing towards wherever my career gonna go off to, having
you company grade, bro. You company grade.
Yeah.
That's that, bro. Don't listen to that. We're company grade.
Cool. So yeah, we'll call it there. But having that experience and having to go through several PT tests, I will tell you, win, lose, or draw, there's always going to be people who just don't care. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, you're always going to have people that either they don't care or they're just having a hard time, and we will always willing to push forward and get the people past the line that need the help. But you can't fake the funk on this PT test. You used to be able to on the ACFT. Nah. You can pick that weight up. You can throw that ball. You can sprint, drag, and carry. But if you don't got it, it's gonna take care of itself. Like if you don't have anything left on that sprint, drag, carry, and you just managed to get past on the plank, we'll see. The run usually works itself out. I would say the run and maybe even the deadlift. Those are the two you can't fake. You have to. I'd
say the sprint, drag, carry. Just the ones I see my soldiers fail the most is the toss, sprint, drag, carry, and the run.
Yeah, the ball throw. The ball throw is all tech. Oh, that's another one. I'm gonna give you the ball throw because I just gave a whole story of how that almost happened. I'm gonna give you the ball
The
throw
ball
because
throw
that's
is
all
all
technique.
like it's weird.
Technique.
Yeah, it's all
You can get
technique. Yeah.
strong with it.
It's all
I promise
technique.
you.
You don't necessarily.
Shoulder rotation and
Oh yeah.
flexibility in those joints, you'll be fine. You don't even have to be strong with it. As long as you can actually get a further release point or a better release point instead of being stuck, like straight out in front of you like this. If you can get it over your head or further, you're gonna be fine.
Oh
Definitely
yeah.
be fine.
Okay.
Oh yeah. And
So I got
yeah.
I got a question for you guys then. Since
Uh-huh.
we all three of us like the ACFT here, what is one thing that the ACFT taught you that you needed to improve about your physical fitness level?
Jakeesh, you want to go first?
I'm not gonna say. I would say it taught me something, but I'm a very athletic person. I've always been hinging on technique and getting the most out of anything, no matter time was. So I was just glad to do it. But from what others I've seen is people really need to know how to pace themselves. Like most definitely, people do not know how to pace themselves. I'll get over to say we're on the plank or something, and this guy was killing himself in every event for it, and he can't do the plank or any of the later events. It People have to build endurance too. You have to build that strength, but you have to definitely build that endurance.
It has to be there. So
right,
for me, I actually the ACFT, it checked my chin a little bit. It actually forced me because by the time I started taking the ACFT, my professional situation had kind of changed a little bit, and I was in a situation to where you had to take one regularly. And for me, it forced me to go to the gym regularly. One, get some help and not be afraid regularly going to the gym until, well, I didn't start regularly going to the gym outside of like a college setting until like 2021. I didn't have a gym membership or anything up until then. And I started doing I got active and fit. So there was different places I could go.
Yeah, I love that thing.
Yeah, for different amenities. So the one thing I wanted to work on my deadlifts because I was having trouble picking up like 230 pounds. Now I'm about, on a good day, I'm about 400, but I keep it.
Go.
I try to just.
Good day. That's a lot.
Oh,
that's a
yes.
lot. That's a lot.
It is. It
yes.
is. That's no slouching weight at all.
So
that's not.
I try to really just keep myself between that 300 and that 350 mark. That's what I try to make sure I can do 3 reps clean every single time. But it also taught me too to just kind of even myself out. And it's just like I'm getting older. I'm stronger than I was when I was 18. That's the one thing I wasn't. I was quick. I had that quick twitch muscle. I was off with it. But as I got older, my endurance kicked up. But I'm way stronger than I was at that point. Even though the recovery, my recovery period, is dwindling just a little bit, and things start to hurt just a bit, but I'm still sharp. And it also taught me to pay attention to quick twitch activities. So when you go running, you have to switch it up, just like we were taught in basic training, and just like the big thing like bullet is running.
My bad. I forgot. Y'all were taught stuff in basic. My bad.
The officers run. That's the stereotype, and that's the same. But as an officer, it's just the thing. Like if you're in front of a formation, you have to run. You have to know how to run. And I've always been a runner. But the thing that's changed is as time goes on, it's like, hey, it's getting harder and harder to meet that 13 minutes, that 13:30, that 14 minutes. It gets harder and harder to do. And just by the ACFT taught me how to switch that up, because no longer are you just running once. You're running several times. You're doing that sprint drag carry. In that sprint drag carry, you just have to be very strategic with where you're running. But you have to have that quick twitch. You have to have that response of getting up, going, stopping, turning around, and being able to keep everything together and not fall to pieces by that, at least that 1 minute and 30 mark, or that 1 minute and 50 seconds mark.
dynamic.
After that, you didn't fail.
It's a quick event. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And you just have to get all the way through it. You can't be looking back and doing all this stuff. You have to just keep going. But it taught me to train my entire body. When I'm doing leg days, you got to do the whole leg. You got to do the whole leg.
People forget the hamstring like so much, bro. Like,
you got to
the
do
hamstring. That drag is all the hamstring.
Oh yeah. You got to do your
get program.
Yeah, you got to do your squats. Got to do your RDLs.
You got to program tendon work too. You got to do all that. And most people aren't going to do that.
Oh yeah. Train your whole leg.
Now
you got to
get
your
tendon work, Jaquise, bro. That for me was the one thing, bro. My flexibility and mobility, I've never trained.
Yeah.
So the ball toss, like all this like quick movements, like I was just like, okay, because I used to run like half marathons, and I ran one ultra in my life, right? And so I could go far. The endurance was there. And hey, that was a long time ago. All right, 50 pounds now, more than.
Congratulations, more pounds.
But my slow twitch fiber, like that's my lung capacity, my blood oxygen level was very high at that time, and I could just keep going, but I was never fast, right? But because I just keep going in one movement for like 2 hours, 3 hours, right? I never learned to be able to make that quick movement that people would learn like playing football. People would learn playing soccer. Like I never played those sports. Just because it's a traumatizing thing watching a kid get helipadded off the football field, and I was like, "Hey, I'm not playing that ever."
It's like I'm good on that.
Like, hey, I'm not trying to die right now, bro. Like I got my whole life to live. You know what I mean? So that's a big thing. Is like, and now I see myself stretching more. I see myself doing like the rubber bands, doing like some purposeful shoulder rotation exercises, and then that's my whole workout for today. You know what I mean?
There you go.
And
prioritizing recovery.
I'm like, shoot.
No,
man. No, it's crazy. Like that's the biggest thing. I was like, okay, I've definitely improved as a person because I've added this to my repertoire, like my routine of things, instead of just going out to run or going out to just. There was a time and point I just did deadlifts at the gym all day, every day, and this was before the ACFT. Like I was just doing deadlifts. Like that was my workout because that was the first thing I got introduced to in the gym.
Okay,
and I just stuck to it every single time. I didn't realize how bad that was for my entire body.
Yes.
Right? Like to do it every day. Now I do it like once every 3 weeks. Like I do one deadlift day. I'll go up to my max.
Yeah.
And that's it. And that's plenty enough because there's so many other exercises you can do for your low back, your core.
Yes.
You know, so I really enjoy the ACFT. I hope they don't ever remove it.
I hope
the standards are low, but still people are failing it, and so that means it's not low enough, right? Like it's at a good point. It's at a healthy stage, right? A really, really big fan of this new body fat thing, where if you get 80% in every event across the board, you don't have to get taped.
Oh yeah,
that's
you have
such
to get
a healthy thing for the military. I love that.
I think it's either a 280 something or a 290, and you don't have to be taped. Oh yeah, and yes, 580. Yes.
You getting taped?
It's not on the. Oh, I most certainly do.
I can't even hold you,
bro. You're. I know. I know.
Jaquise, how tall are you, bro?
I'm 5'7".
Dude, I'm 5'6".
We're the same height. We're the same height.
I'm 5'3".
Straight up, just sitting there. Why you gotta get taped? Not that tall. Oh, okay. You just carry muscle.
Yeah. And it's like our shit is ridiculous. It's like 5'7". 27, 28 years old.
You can only be like 169.
Like something crazy like that.
Dude, I gotta be like 130.
That's ridiculous.
I've never been 130, bro. I think I remember correctly, I'm like 130, bro.
But the
like I'm gonna be just like my head and then like a skeleton. Like there's no way, dude.
Yeah,
what do you think? I'm ready to fight the welterweight champion of the world? Like, no, I'm never gonna be. And here's my thing. Like right now, I'm 194 as of yesterday. So like my weight can balloon up and down. So after I did my spur ride, I was 185.
Damn, son, that's all that water.
Yeah, everything was
got rid of all that water.
Everything was gone, and I felt sick. But I wanted that was actually my key weight. That's the weight I want to be that's the weight that I feel good and I feel loose and I'm not fully slowed down. My walking around weight is anywhere between 190 and 195. If I'm like really not feeling all that great and I'm on my fat boy shit, I am between 190 and 200 pounds. And I can't go any further than that. Because the weight in the water, it'll naturally like pan itself out if I'm doing a decent job of just watching what I eat. But yeah, that's a new thing to me. But the biggest thing about your weight is, and this is the one thing a lot of soldiers miss, is for height and weight, the biggest, even if you don't make weight, you have to pass tape and you have to meet a certain body fat percentage. Because now, as of October this year, it's a one tape.
It's
rule.
one zone. Yeah, one zone right around the waist. Yep.
And it can work to the benefit of some, but to others, it might screw them over.
I feel that the one zone is more accurate than the neck one. I've seen some thick boys in the unit. You know what I mean? Like, they'll pass tape with the neck one, but they won't pass on a single body.
Yeah. right.
Yeah, I mean,
we saw that. We saw that the last time.
Hey, one of these is messed up, and I do the in-body assessments as a part of my, like, every 6 months or so, right?
Yeah,
so I know what my body fat's at, and and the one zone taping is a whole lot more closer, if not just as accurate, than the one with the neck. Because I'm an Asian man, bro. Like, next, this is it. I'm not gonna get a thicker neck. I ain't gonna get a thicker neck than this.
He said, "This is it."
If I do any more, bro, I'm gonna look like a whole thumb. Like, it's not. It's not. I ain't trying to do that.
It's
bro.
okay.
I like my life. I like my wife likes how I look. I'm happy.
Yeah, that's all that matters at the end of the day. Is just one, having a good relationship with yourself and having good self-esteem and being comfortable with your body, especially as time moves on. And you do everything you're supposed to do. You work out, you take care of yourself. I can only imagine you probably hold a good diet, but you enjoy yourself when you need to. That's another thing too. And learning to cut back a little bit and also having a good time when it's time to have a good time in your diet. But I would say, all in all, I just hope that the ACFT and in any Army fitness, we come to a good point where we reach that point of stagnation and there's not any more changes. And it can be like the APFT, and it can be the premier fitness test for 20, 30 years with no changes. Yeah. That is what we would like to happen. Best case scenario.
Oh, yes.
But the next topic, now, Mr. Tahimik, you brought this to my attention. This is something that I'd actually been wanting to talk more about in the last, maybe I'll say 2 months, 3 months. And it's because of all of these absolutely ridiculous, and I know Jaquise knows because I send him all of these on Instagram, all of these ridiculous AI covers, as well as some of the other capabilities of AI, as well as the metaverse. Now, we can go different ways on this. So, Julian, do you want us to put our tinfoil hats on, or we gonna keep them off? How we want to do this?
Hey man, we can put them on a little bit later on, probably.
Oh yeah.
I'm down. I'm down for a fun conversation, man.
Cool deal. So, when dealing with the AI, this has grown to a point where there have also been like widespread conversations about like what could actually happen in the future if AI continues to develop at the rate that it's being developed at. Some think it's going to be Skynet. Some think it's not going to be any more than making Patrick Starr sing Keisha Cole or T-Pain songs.
Oh Lord.
It's gotten ridiculous, but it's definitely entertaining. It's gotten to a point where it's presented some cool things, but we're also at a point where virtual reality has left the immediate video game sphere, to where you can surf the internet, you can watch movies. There's internet connection with it, so you can get into spaces, into rooms with different people to where they're moving around and they have actual avatars. So we're getting closer and closer to what the future is. Jaquise, tell me where do you think all of this is going? Are we going to be resistance fighters in the future, fighting Skynet, or is this just harmless fun? Like where are we going to go from here?
I think it really depends on what avenue you use AI and its capacity. So if you take it from an education standpoint, take college writing, for example, there has been, what was it, like Turnitin or some type of checker back in the day where it would review your work. You kind of wonder what that really was. But now there's AI prompts. If you understand how to prompt AI, you can have them, spit out a paper, take
Great
that
tools.
and regurgitate it, put it somewhere else in another type of AI and just give it back to you multiple times. And that'll help you out with your paper. Granted, they're cracking down on that. So it becomes a pretty powerful tool in the right hands. Now, if you're talking about just like the fun aspects and all that stuff, AI is great. It's wonderful. As you said, Patrick Singh and Keisha Cole, I mean, you have people who use it to spark creativity. And for me, I think that's a really cool thing. Hey, I don't know what to draw today or write about. Let's see what AI does. Give me a few prompts and, run with it. Can there be real problems with it? Yeah, those weird commercials where it's like, hey, I'm so and so and I'm giving away 0.675 BTC to everyone who signs up. Like, it gets really scary on that aspect where they can use it to take information from you. So it's
absolutely
both sides.
I think it'll drastically, like, for those that want to use it for good, they'll do so, right?
Exactly.
But for those that want to use it for bad, it also allows them, because at the core fundamentals of AI, right, it just makes low skill labor no skill. Like
no
it
skill.
just it takes it, right? It does that work for you. Like what I consider like maybe $10 an hour work that you might pay someone to do, it takes that and it'll do it for you automatically.
Yeah.
Right? It's supposed to make your life easier for both good and bad things. And so I see it like a lot as like a white collar professional civilian side. It is everywhere. It is in your computer chips now. It's probably on this platform we're on. It's on Grammarly.
It is. Oh, it is.
Yeah.
It is. I use it to edit this podcast. Shout out to Riverside.
See, we're good.
It's crazy, right? Like it. So for me, I'm looking at long-term effects of this, and it's going to make low skill labor pretty much non-existent. And so it's going to bring everyone to an equal playing ground. Absolutely. Because anyone can use these tools unless they start paywalling these things.
Yes.
Right? And once they start paywalling these things, now it's going to be even worse for the low income America that doesn't have access to this thing. It's going to be like that one movie. What's that called? What? Ready Player One? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's going to be like everyone's got access to the basic ones. But the ones that have the money get the actual, like, real life situation is also
pay to win,
as well as their virtual situation. You know what I mean? Whereas the low income America could only escape through the virtual side of it. You know what I mean? I think that might be like the worst case situation, because I mean the living situation of that main character in that movie was pretty rough, man.
Oh,
I was like, bro, that looked like the Philippines. Oh, like, man, that's a third world country he's living in right now, but he playing nice games though.
Yeah, you definitely brought up a great point in talking about how it affects our labor, because we recently came out of, when I say we, I say holistically the country, Hollywood, America, came out of the SAG-AFTRA strike and the Writers Guild strike, and some of the language that was included in the strike in the conditions were protections against AI.
Yeah.
Yes. Even though a lot of it, and I can see why, because I could go to Chat GPT, and I actually tried it myself. I could go to Chat GPT and say, hey, Chat GPT, write me a script about a black PlayStation 5 who sat on the moon and jumped off and started drinking pineapple cider, and has a mother whose name is Jonas. Like, something is ridiculous than that, and it'll do it. Now, I'll the actual thing that I said, that was completely made up, but the actual thing I said was way more offensive than that. But that was one of the wide casting issues, and I would say at best right now, in its current form, it can be used as a great writing tool, as a great like way to kind of like, kind of jot your memory and get the creative juices flowing. But as far as being a wide casting tool, it will only be that, like you said, if there's a paywall behind it to get like access to more, to something that's more specific. Because ChatGPT actually has that feature.
Yeah, but very, very limited amounts. Like at the end of the day, they're still a nonprofit, right? They just make the most recent years the most inaccessible to their platforms. Like 3.5 is out now, and I think that covers like 2018 and sooner, or like 2022 and sooner. Like it doesn't have like this year's or the most upcoming, because it's all statistics based, right? At the end of the day, like, AI is all stats based, so it's just taking what's there, and then it's like the perfect search engine. It did Google better than Google did. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Where it starts to get a little weird too, is visual art. Visual art, I have a lot of fun with like the AI generated visual art, because it's like, it's abstract art. It's supposed to look really out there and isn't supposed to have any defined kind of limitations to it. You can interpret it for yourself. I've learned that since I learned that in like the second grade, what abstract art is and what it's supposed to look like. And there's people who literally have canvases where there's one dot on there, and that motherfucker is $150,000 for that one painting.
In front of the right eyes.
Right, in front of the right eyes. You could have paintings that are just really aggressive and really rough around the edges, like Jean-Michel Basquiat. Basquiat's paintings were like really, really in your face, but it was very thematic, and you can at least kind of point at that and say, okay, it's got a little bit more to it. Now, there is a very pretentious side of visual arts, and really any of the arts. Every art form has a very pretentious side to it. But there are some artists who have a signature flair and feel, and that signature flair and feel might be able to be trumped by some of these AI generated art pieces, because it's so scary now, because you can't really tell what's what. There have been actually, I think I watched a video. I saw a video somewhere. Somebody actually took like an AI generated piece of artwork, and they put it in a legitimate competition. And they had like a phony backstory of how they did it and everything. And I think they won.
Oh,
that's
gosh.
That's the
it's the most stylistic art pieces too. Like one of my wife's and mine's favorite artists is Kahande Wiley. So he have you seen his installations?
No, I haven't.
No, dude, you guys gotta definitely look it up real quick, because it's some awesome stuff. And he's very stylistic, but a lot of the AI art I see also looks stylistic. So it's like, dang, like, because he will make art pieces that are like, here, I'll show you one probably.
Kahande Wiley.
Say definitely
he's an American painter.
Pull it from somewhere too.
Oh, these are beautiful. I've seen
yeah, like
before.
he's got Barack on a nice backdrop, right? He's got
he's the one he does the portraits.
He does the portraits. Yeah, he's got MLK behind this nice backdrop, right? But the thing is, you could ask AI to do, hey, put MLK behind a nice backdrop. It'll make something just like this. I guarantee you, it might source this actual painting as its source. Exactly. Yep. And that's the thing. Like Kahande's not going to get nothing out of that.
Right.
He put hours. These are oil paintings, bro.
Yes.
You know anything about oil? It takes time for that art to get created. And it's really beautiful stuff, man. Like we walked through his installation a few times. but we have his book. Like she loves him. Like it's fantastic. He's a great artist. It's stylistic. Like AI could mimic and do this. And next thing you know, Kahande's value
just
plummets. I mean? Like that's a shame. That's a shame. Like that's like for the artistic side, that's what I see is really, really like I can understand artists and their pain against AI, right? The SAG-AFTRA strikes, the script writing, right? Copywriting, award writing for the military. I write all my words on ChatGPT. I don't think about
no more magic bullet, huh?
Yes. Yes.
like soldier was a shitbag, but showed up one time, bro. Boom. This soldier was an amazing exemplar. Like, bro, like it was like
put in all the necessary hours.
You're not going to armywriter.com. Those chump ass bullets.
GPT, bro.
Who the fuck needs that?
No.
I'm telling you, great.
Like, and COERs, OERs, bro. Like, no, ain't no way I'm thinking about that when it's like we got this resource. But at the same time, like, man, some artist out there or some dude that actually put the time to write that bullet is like, like twisting in their graves because I use ChatGPT. You know what I mean? So
some career field grade is turning their nose at you right now.
Someone. There's a bunch of them that just like they got a twitch in their eye just because we're talking about this.
Right. This is gonna make somebody scream really badly. But yeah, that's I would hope that there's some way to kind of put a tab on all of this stuff, because that's really what I'm more concerned about. I'm not worried about the AI becoming self-aware and then launching all of the nukes, and then we're having to fight off robots that look like people. And
that's what Elon Musk is scared of. That's for sure.
Yeah, if you can
Elon Musk, you're a fool. I don't care what you
has
say.
Me worried about that. That's what he's for. Zuckerberg, all of the big tech people, that's who we need to keep our eye on. Not the big tech companies. They're doing like very, very like low level stuff. Like they're making vacuum cleaners. Like there's not a lot to look forward to.
AI powered vacuum cleaner.
Yeah. Hey, vacuum cleaner, go vacuum up my entire car, and then hey, go pick up the kids from school, and then go vacuum. Like that's if it comes to that, cool. But
bro, that's scary.
it is scary. It's wild. But I think we're in a good place just as long as we don't reach a place where we're pulling so far from, and we're having if we have an over reliance on it, that's what's going to become the problem. That's what I see being the biggest issue moving forward, is continuing to have our over reliance on not only AI but technology in general. That's the more that we lean into these systems for our basic rhythm throughout. I was about to say battle rhythm, but our basic rhythm throughout the day. That's what's going to end up happening. That's where the crippling point could be. But I don't want to lean more into that because that's more the tinfoil side. But that's
what about the metaverse? Have you guys done anything as far as being in it? Have you what examples have you seen? Because there's one like I think like Facebook's making their metaverse, right? I think a really good example for the gaming side, like Fortnite as a company, Epic as a company, is making their game like they got Lego in there now, they got racing in there now, they got
the Lego.
They have everybody.
That event,
they have everybody.
They got everything.
Just happened.
11 million people were playing that game at launch, right? It's crazy. It's pretty insane. That for me is successful as a metaverse. Like that is like a one-stop shop for all that stuff. The VR stuff I've seen kind of fall away. Have you guys done much VR or anything like that?
I have an Oculus Quest, and I haven't done much with it. Like I got it to the point, it's like, all right, I'm gonna do Beat Saber and some of those other cool worlds in there. I did it for like maybe a day or two, and I realized like, man, I'm just not too big of a fan of it. It's cool, but it's like I just didn't really have any current application with it.
Yeah. I think it's too intrusive. Like you can't walk out with it. You know what I mean? Like with the Oculus and the Meta and all that stuff, is like you going out to a party. Yeah, you can pull up their Instagram on your hand, right? Like all that good stuff while you're talking to someone because they got the cameras now. But the thing is, like, you look dumb.
Yeah, you look stupid.
And it's gonna be one of those what is it, the silent listening parties or whatever. It's gonna be the AI parties where everybody's in a room just boom, pulling up stuff.
And that's just weird. Like that don't sound like the metaverse to me. That sounds like some Orwell type stuff, you know?
It's definitely some. It is definitely some. That is definitely some Orwellian. That is definitely War of the Worlds. That's where we start.
Well, I think the most applicable way we can start seeing AI is through those glasses. Like everyone, like we all three of us are gonna be real happy because everyone's gonna be wearing glasses soon.
See, here's the problem. It's the perverts. It's the perverts that are gonna be the ones that mess it up for everybody. It is the perverts.
Oh, no doubt.
That are gonna
100%. 100%.
The first time
you seen them Ray-Ban glasses, right, Ken?
Yes.
Like they got like the screen in it. They got the music.
Screen. There's a
like
camera.
those are cool.
Cameras on the side. But yeah, I stand by it. It's the perverts that are gonna ruin.
It's the perverts.
Internet connectivity to your glasses. The minute that we have X-ray vision to see through something, or the minute that you can view porn through your glasses, it's over. It's done.
Yeah,
it's over with. It's over with. Yeah, that's all somebody's gonna be facing charges because they was watching something that they weren't supposed to during a very, very important meeting. That's gonna be it. But
oh Lord,
like that comedian Tim Robinson and his TV show. I know y'all see some of that.
Poor Tim. But yeah, coming to a grand standing close. Julian, it was definitely great having you on the show today. We should definitely do this again. You definitely held up super well on this episode and did a good job. But where can we find you at? Your handles.
Julian Tahimik at. That's it. Julian Tahimik. It's my full last name. Full first name, last name. That's it. There's only one of me. My last name is very rare. It's a native Filipino last name. So
yeah, you don't even have to put no numbers or anything behind that.
Nah, that's it. No.
Jakees,
yeah, on Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff.
Yeah, all that good stuff. Okay. Any other platforms or anything like that?
No, that that's where I'm at on social for the most part. I don't do Twitch. I don't do streaming or anything.
Oh yeah,
this is the first podcast I've ever been on, so this is fun. I appreciate it.
I know.
So I really enjoy it.
For sure. I noticed the other guy definitely does. Jakees, tell the people where they can find you at.
You can find me on Twitch under my new name now, prod by _KODB. You can find me on Instagram at KODB_prod. You can find me on TikTok at Mystic Impact. I'm going to change that too. That's still under KODB Productions. You can find me on Apple Music, Spotify, all that good stuff under KODB Productions. And you can find me here on the HBAF network.
Oh, that's right. And lastly, you can find all of us highly black and flavored on Facebook and Instagram. And you can also find us on Twitter at HBAF Network. We definitely going to start using that Twitter a lot more. We're going to start running out the streets, doing what we got to do. Make sure that definitely happens. And you can find me at Savad_Nekatre. That is SIVAD_NEKATRE. This is the last show for the year. And I definitely appreciate every single person that takes a listen, takes a look, the YouTube videos, even if you just click on the link, any of your interactions with us across social media. I thank y'all so very much. Goodbye 2023. Hello 2024. Peace. Catch y'all later.